What's good, Eagles gang, Eagle family, Eagles nation? It's your boy Mucci Robinson coming in with another video. Please like, share, and subscribe as I bring to you more Eagles content on the daily. So let's get into it. This is me going live, of course. And how do y'all feel about the signings today? Well, yeah, the signing for is, let me see. The signing for is Raven Clark, offensive tackle from the Colts. I told y'all this is going to be Colts 2.0 for the Eagles. Nick Sirianni got a plan, and he's definitely going to make something right. He's definitely going to he's making moves. Like I said, he's going to turn this offense, this defense, or whatever have you. He's going to turn it into the Colts one way or another. Like I said, it's going to be 2.0. We're going to be better. And I mean, what do you think that it's going to make it far as the other tackles like Matt Pryor, Andre Diller? Uh, they might be out the door, as far as competition is concerned. I mean, just from him coming in, he was a third round draft pick. And now that y'all have him in here now, it's like, what y'all gonna do with him? I mean, he's here to stay because obviously he worked with Nick Sirianni before. So when you come in, when you already knowing somebody and coming in and accomplishing what you did from the previous team, of course, when you come over here, you're gonna be nice. You already gonna know what the head coach is thinking. So why not? I mean, this is gonna be ugly. Like when he said competition, it's definitely gonna be competition. I don't really know too much about him, but I'm pretty sure once he knows what's going on, as far as the offensive scheme is going, getting together, it's it's going to be unbearable. That's why I just can't wait for the preseason. I can't wait for everything. I just can't wait for the whole camp to get started. I can't wait until June 1st start. What are they going to do with Zach Ertz? Zach Ertz, is he going to get released? And my question about that is, when they get released, will he still get the same money that he was asking for? Lenny, what's good? I got the I definitely got the hookup. So if you want to hop on, you know what I mean, be my guest. But yeah, but far as the situation, like this offense is going to be crazy. Everything is going to be crazy. That's why I just can't. Everybody keeps saying we're going to win. Up. What's good, system of the nut? I'm just going over the signings. You know what I'm saying? As far as the offensive tackle, as far as the cornerback, Scott and Ryan Kerrigan. Like Eagles is definitely making moves. What y'all feel about how they was talking about Jalen Hurts, as far as PPF listing him as 32nd out of 33? I mean, at the end of the day, I feel that he don't care about none of that. Uh, put him in that spot. I believe he needs to be in that spot. Hold on, give me one moment. Lenny, what's good?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. What's up, man?
I'm
Been a
chilling.
minute.
How's everything?
I'm good. Y'all and you and Pablo been kicking ass over there on your show. Seen that.
Yeah, we
Y'all having
doing
a
something.
blast.
We trying to start something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It was a
yeah,
spirit of the moment.
yeah. It's going pretty damn well.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, he just since he's still learning everything, you know what I'm saying, as far as talking to certain people, he just want to get the vibe and see how everything works out before he do anything else. So like I said, that's why we still getting things in motion.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, that's totally understandable, dude. I was the same. I was the same way in the beginning of my channel. It's like, but that's the beauty of it. You kind of you go back from the first video that you make, and then you just see the growth. You just see your growth pattern in yourself, and like humble beginnings, that sort of thing. And it's cool how you mature from the beginning to now.
Right, right. Yeah, like again, like this is my second live. Like you know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning this as I go on as well. You know what I'm saying?
And
But again, how you feel about these signings? Like as far as what's his name? Raven Clark, offensive tackle from the Colts.
yeah, I mean, you have to, you gotta be okay with it so far because Nick Sirianni is sticking with his theme of competition, and that's what he wants. You know, for LaRaven Clark being a former third round pick of the Colts in the 2016 draft. It was a pretty good pickup for them. He's started a total of 47 career games. He's only accounted for about 7 total penalties, so we know that he's not much of a messy lineman in that regard, to be prone to stupid things like holding and whatnot. I think he only has a few. I think he only has a few to my knowledge. Yeah, he's got ooh well, five of his penalties are holding and 2 are false starts. But that again, that's over the course of 47 games. So he's pretty tidy in that regard. But we just need to maintain this level of competition that Sirianni is bringing to the football team. And you just gotta just lead by example, practice what you preach, and he's just got to keep going with it.
Right. Shout out to Nikki Cunningham. What's good? Pablo not on here today. Just me and my boy Lenny in zone today. I'm doing pop ups for everybody. So but yeah. So as far as Clark is concerned, do you feel that he's gonna come in and he's gonna take somebody's job only because he already knows Nick Sirianni? And what does this mean for Matt Pryor and let me say Joey Malata? Just I mean, just hypothetically, I know Joey Malata. I feel that he's going to start, but at the same time, again, you bring somebody from somewhere previous where that and it's a reason why you're bringing them in here because you already seen him play. And after what you just explained, saying how he had the holding penalties and false starts, that can always be adjusted and fixed. And obviously, he's a third round draft pick.
Hmm.
So, and when he was over there, he was also, let's say, I don't believe he was starting, but he still knows the scheme. Like because he already knows something and coming over, and again, you already know somebody, and like you said, practice what you preach. I'm pretty sure, as far as him already being in the scheme or studying the line, because of course Nick Sirianni was the offensive coach, offensive line, no, offensive coordinator. So obviously he would already know something. So again, would he come over and take somebody's job? Do you think?
I don't think so. He hasn't started. He hasn't started very many games of the 47 that he system of a God. That's hilarious. but no, of the 47 games that Clark has played for the Colts, he has started 15. My concern with LaRaven is the fact that he suffered a similar injury to somebody that we know on the squad around week 13 or week 14, I think last year. It was in December. LaRaven Clark suffered a season-ending Achilles injury. He tore his Achilles. So yeah, you have to imagine if that's something that's going to linger over time. As we know, Brandon Brooks has suffered 2 of those consecutively, and I think that's the biggest concern on his part. And sure, um, he definitely has some work to do in regard to his craft. But when it comes to linemen, that's not a big deal when you have one of the greatest line coaches in the NFL, and Jeff Stoutland. That thank God that he's still here and he didn't go to Alabama for that matter. But
Right.
at the same time, this is a similar signing. If we can remind ourselves of the signings of guys like Anthony Harris and Eric Wilson, in the regard of bringing people that are familiar to a system that somebody on the coaching staff is wanting to implement, and that also applies to the offensive line with as far as the scheme goes and how they slide protections and whatnot, what you're looking for from an offensive standpoint. So I'm not going to put too much stock into it personally, but um, at the same time, yeah, it's still going to offer competition either way. I feel it's going to more so impact Andre Dillard than a guy in Jordan Mailata, who's been a long-term project for Jeff Stoutland in the first place, and he's got a pretty damn good deal of upside, especially being a former rugby player. So you got to give it up to guys like that who have really honed into the craft of wanting to learn the game of football and having a fantastic coach to teach you along the way.
Definitely, definitely. So how do you feel about them? naming Jalen Hurts the 32nd on the PB, what's that, the PPF.
He was second to last. Yeah, he was the 31st.
So I mean, people got to understand. Everybody's getting upset, but why get upset? Because at the end of the day, he only played 4 games, so they're judging off of the 4 games. He wasn't spectacular in all of them, so he was only he maybe I'm gonna say 2 or no. He's still he was improving because at the same time they just threw him in there, so he was just doing what he had to do. So I understand that they put him there, and even if he looked at it, he probably laughed and said, "Okay, it's fair game. I can't wait until I can't wait till the season start." We already know, like like this is his destiny. Like meaning, if you look, it's this is just for me when I think of it. If you look at all his documentaries and how he's been taught from his pop to Brian Johnson is still winning. Like, do you really think he's going to fail this year? Like, it's unbelievable. It's impossible that he's going to go out there and just. And now that we have Devontae Smith again, he knows somebody already. He's done played with him, so I don't believe he's going to. He's not going to fail at all.
No, absolutely. It's just funny how the national media tends to forget where these players come from, and we want to shine the spotlight on guys like Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson who are carrying, this kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like this tradition, from Alabama with this strict discipline and being professional, and wanting to improve yourself in the game of football. And I mean, Jalen Hurts comes from the same tree. He was a guy that was backing up Tua, at one point for Alabama. He wanted some more time for himself. He goes to Oklahoma and has some record performances over there. It's just ridiculous how quickly we forget the kind of collegiate pedigree that Jalen Hurts possesses, and just because that through 4 games things didn't go as planned, as I say in the case of Jalen Hurts, with the inheritance that he unfortunately had bestowed upon him, where it was one man's trash is another man's trash. Because I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, that's what it was for Jalen. But we have to credit these guys at these kinds of players at the same time, that when you're at the very bottom and you're facing as much adversity as you are, for him to stay composed and to have those kind of like leadership intangibles to still want to bring this team above water, even despite the circumstance. You have to admire the kid. And going into year 2, and all and these all this stuff that's going on in media, like being against him and whatnot, being the second to worst ranked quarterback in the NFL, which is obviously to every one of us, it's absolutely absurd that he's only better than Drew Lock. I mean, that doesn't make any sense considering the rookie class of quarterbacks that haven't taken a single snap, in the regular season of the NFL. So you also have to take that into consideration. But I'm not making a big fuss over it, because I've narrowed it down to like 3 things that are really steering this right now when it comes to where PFF has ranked Jalen Hurts. One is, I just had them off the top of my head. There was 3 things. One is narrative. Two is entertainment. Being that we have to create a story for people to follow and debate about, no matter how ridiculous it is. And the third, I don't want to sound like a homer or bias here towards the Eagles, but the third one is favoritism. Like, it's easy to what is that phrase? It's easy to kick somebody while they're down. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the whole like setting the narrative, for people to easily pick up upon, and be like, oh, that's easy to talk about, just because on how it was shared throughout the media. So I'm not really diving into it that much. you know, if anything, this is going to give Jalen fantastic motivation to prove everybody wrong.
Right,
That's the
right.
biggest thing that I'm looking forward towards, at this point in time.
Real quick, Paulo Gary, he's in the chat. What's good,
Uh-oh.
brother? Gary, yeah, he's going on live at 10, so that's why I'm here at 8. I just said let me just hop on real quick. I know he's going live at 10. Um, what else? Big Play Slay. I'm about to plug you in just a minute. And Nikki said she wouldn't mind seeing Malata get a goal line carry if they could put that into the system.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, there was a lot of that. I think a couple of years ago, people were saying, why not make him a fullback, especially with his rugby highlights. It's ridiculous.
I wouldn't mind that either. Like, because when we first grabbed him, I said, "Why did y'all do?" I mean, I get it. I said he could take hits because, of course, it's rugby, but he never had on pads, and he probably thinking something totally different of the ordinary. Because with rugby, I guess you stay in like the groups and like huddle together the whole entire
Yeah,
time, and the way how you holding the ball different. But I mean, I'm pretty. It's other It was another wide receiver. I believe he played for the Saints. He was a rugby player. Then he came in as a wide receiver, and he was doing good for like a good 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm about to plug in one more, another big play slay.
there we
Sure.
go.
Man, my two favorite up and coming content creators. How y'all today?
Yeah.
What's good, big play? How you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you guys?
I mean, listen, I'm just talking about the signings today. Like, how do you feel about the signings and what's the impact on the Eagles on what they're doing?
I think it was I think it was a signing that it was a smart signing, but it talks about like depth more of like just getting competition and improving the depth for your team. I think that's what this signing means.
All right. Well, after we already got finished talking about LaRaven Clark, how do y'all feel about cornerback uh, Josiah Scott from the Jaguars? What's up with you on Lenny?
Josiah Scott's interesting because he follows in the mold of Avante Maddox, and he was a former fourth round pick, and I think in last year's class from Michigan State. He didn't play very much for the Jaguars. For reasons being, I heard that their room was pretty deep at corner, which does that doesn't make sense based on the talent that they have. So I mean, he only has about 6 games under his belt, and um, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense at the same time that we grab another corner that resembles the size of a guy that we already have that had little to no success whatsoever playing on the outside. So is this a matter where they feel that they're going to trust Zach McPherson on the outside with Slay? I don't see that happening. You're going to set yourself up for disaster if that's the case. And either way, we're still going to need to bring at least maybe 2 outside corners in, depending on whether you like a guy like Michael Jaquette or not. So I still don't like the depth at this point in time, and free agency is going to have to be the short-term answer in regards to positive production from the secondary.
How you feel about it, play?
Um, I like the trade, but I just don't like the player that we got back. I mean, I know he has like some intangibles and like aspects, but like he's 5'9". You have to get corners that like are lengthy and tall and can match up with receivers that are gonna kill you in this division. Like you have the teams like the Cowboys and the Giants who are loading up on offense. And right now, as of today, we have Darius Slay and a bunch of 5'9" corners, and that's not gonna help us win football games.
That's true. Shout out to Nikki. She says I like Scott. He's 5'9", 4.42 in the 40. Shows flash, good depth. Pick up for nickel. Now, what about the guy Obi? I can't say his last name, but far as him being
Yeah, Ifeatu's brother. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like that he's going to be signed because I feel that they preferred to sign offensive tackle Casey Tucker instead. I know there was at least 4 or 5 other candidates that they were able to be picked up. There was no news in signing a guy like Obi, so it's quite unfortunate that we weren't able to add somebody else to the secondary in that regard, especially with a kid coming in at like 6'3", 6'4", around 220 that can really be that kind of ball hawk type of corner if they played him there. So I'm not sure where they're at with him.
so you don't think we're going to stay with him because of his injuries or just because at the end of the day he's like a big cornerback for me, how I
Yeah,
see it. But I and the thing is, he was a second round draft pick. But this is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean when I say sometimes the draft doesn't matter. Here it is. We have a second rounder. He went to the Raiders. He didn't really do too much again because he had injuries. Now that he's over here, we all praised him to a certain extent. He's a second rounder. He can do this, but if you come over here, he could probably do more adjustment. When I see that, I was hyped too. But then again, if he didn't do so much good in the Raiders, why? You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, again, training camp coming, best of the best. And again, it's a lot of competition. You know what I'm saying? So at
yeah.
this point, I don't know.
It just throws me off a little bit that we decided to sign a tackle who has been in and out of waiver claims for about 3-4 times on this team. Like this is the famous tackle that got knocked out by Sharif Miller and was put on an IR waiver for a concussion. So I don't know. Stoutland must like him for some reason, but yeah, we needed secondary help instead.
So the whole point is we got a lot of depth. But even if we got a lot of depth, that doesn't mean nothing because what we're saying is we still don't have the right player. I guess
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
I
It's too
think
many cooks in the it's too many cooks in the kitchen, just not the right chef, pretty much.
yeah.
For the means of players probably, but it's I don't know, like system of the not saying depth don't mean nothing if all the back well depth still means something in regards to having that competitive edge amongst everybody, because it's not like not everybody, you look at, I don't know, like American Idol or America's Got Talent, stuff like that. Not everybody is going to make the cut in the early rounds, so it's like the more people you bring in, the brighter the lights are going to get, especially for a lot of these players that this is their career. This is what's going to put food on the table for them, and they're going to, when they, and in certain situations, like if they continue to get waived or cut, or for that matter, their chances are just going to continue to diminish. So depth to an extent, yeah, it may not mean anything in regards to the perspective of talent, but it still does in regards to building a football team that's going to be successful in the long run.
Yeah.
All right. Before you go play, I'm about to bring in another person. We got Mitch Coffey about to come through.
Oh, he left.
If he does.
Did he leave? No, he didn't leave. Hold on. Here we go.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
what's up, Mitch?
yo,
What's good,
big
Mitch? How
place.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. You and Lindy, big place like I've been everywhere, like in RBs, like everywhere I go, I see you
I
guys there.
I'm trying, man.
Hey,
I feel like
proud
I'm
of
at
you. It's working.
I,
It's working for you
yeah,
guys.
Listen, this
I
is
feel like I'm at places that no one knows about in like the Eagles community. Like the amount of Eagles content creators there are in this community is just so ridiculous to me.
You're telling
exactly
me.
that's what I'm saying. We got to do what we do to support each other when we're not making our own stuff, man.
Trust me. Why do you
Right,
think I
right.
had the Giants fan on yesterday? Like,
Yeah,
just get my name out there for TikTok.
yeah. There you go.
It
Yeah,
actually
definitely.
worked.
Let's
So
Yeah.
see.
we just got finished talking about the cornerbacks, but for right
Mhm.
now, how about this question? How y'all like to sign in with Ryan Kerrigan?
I think it was a good
I'll
signing.
start with I'll start with play on this one. How you feel about it?
I think it was a good rotational signing. I know people are saying that he's washed, but he's coming to be a rotational depth piece. He's not coming in to play immediately. He's coming in to mentor the younger guys at the defensive end position and go out there and play football. I like the signing, and it could really help some of the guys like Derek Barnett and Joshua develop as the defensive ends.
What's good, Mitch?
I freaking love it. He destroyed Wentz time and time and time again, and I'm like, this guy is just like a thorn in his side. But now he's with us. It kind of reminds me of the Al Horford. I'm not comparing their plays, but I'm comparing like he was like the MB stopper, and then we got him, and then that hurt the Celtics in the long run. So could that be the same thing? Could I hurt the football team in the long run?
What you think about Lenny?
If I'll address the system of enough for a second because I seen both of his comments. So he's talking about just the overall comfortability with bringing in backups. Yeah, it's completely understandable. He brings up Jamon Brown. So,
Yeah.
Can you
that's-
not
Oh,
mention
my
his
goodness.
name in
Yeah,
my
no.
presence? Don't mention his name in our presence.
yeah.
I completely get it though. Like in other words, what you're getting to, not and I'm actually curious if not refers to Slipknot because that would be badass because that's my kind of music. But but no, what you're trying to say is that you want to have the comfort zone as a fan to know that we're just not bringing random guys off the street that have a lower level of talent that aren't going to necessarily make an impact in terms of wanting to make this football team. It's completely understandable. So yeah, I get where you're coming from in that regard. But you know what, Ryan Kerrigan, this is true. This was a signing that I did not expect. I knew at the same time that our defensive line depth was still lacking, especially in a means of veteran presence. I know we got guys like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, but it doesn't hurt to have one of the all time sack accumulators in Ryan Kerrigan, to where 4 of his 10 years at Washington, he's collected over 10 sacks, which is pretty impressive. 2014 sticks out to me specifically because I think he should have went to the Pro Bowl that year. He had 13. I think he had like 13 and a half sacks, like 5 forced fumbles, that sort of thing. But he is the perfect mold in this football team when it comes to a guy that we've seen come in around 2017. Chris Long, he's the perfect mold in that position. To not only add to depth, but to be a dependable piece on that line. That's somebody else that you can throw out there with Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox, to where the offense has to respect him. It's not just, oh, we should be okay with just double teaming Fletcher Cox, and we don't have to worry about anybody getting close to the quarterback. No, now you have to show consideration for Ryan Kerrigan. And again, this is going to be depending on how the rotations are going to set what Ryan's snap count is going to end up being, because that was one of the bigger reasons with him leaving Washington, is that he felt that he deserved more snaps, and as Washington is transitioning the way the Eagles are when it comes to youth, they're trying to do that for their defensive line. So it's understandable to see his role diminish over time, but we still have use for him. It's great that he's on the good side now, and Lane Johnson don't got to worry about him anymore.
So, but here's the thing, right? How is everybody saying he's washed up? Like, did he just turn 32, or is he about to turn 33?
He'll be 33 at the start of the season.
All right.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, so if he's 33 at the beginning of the season and he just played last year, and when I say he murdered us, I mean he had like at least 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and an interception, all
Yep.
in one. So, but
Woo.
then he's been nice, like you said, through the whole 10 years. And you're saying when he come over here, just because of a 1 year deal for 3.5, he's going to be trash. I don't see it. I don't see him being so nice and then coming over to us, and then he's going to be playing garbage. Now, yes, he's not going to. I don't believe he's going to start, but I'm pretty sure he's still going to. Once if he's in back of Burnett, or if he's in back of Graham, I'm pretty sure once they come out to get a breather, he's going to come in and he's going to do damage. I mean, it's going to be unstoppable. That's why I just can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see this happen. Like he can't be garbage. Him as an athlete, I don't see him being garbage just for 1 year. Just I mean, I could see if he played 1 year with us and then if he goes somewhere else, or this might be his last year per se. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't believe he's going to come in and he's going to be garbage. Everybody's saying he's washed up. I don't believe that at all. You know,
No, looks like Nikki just took the words right out of my mouth with her just with her recent comment here. So shout out to you, Nikki. She just said, I mean, this is a player that was just under just under 40% in snap count, and he's still responsible for 5.5 sacks over the course of that time. I mean, and again, we want to talk about that. This notion that he's washed up. Well, Brandon Graham's as old as him, and for the course of his career, Ryan Kerrigan has been a lot
thank
more
you.
productive, arguably.
Yes,
I mean,
thank
he
you.
has 95 and a half sacks for his career. He only needs 4.5 for us to break 100, and I feel that we're the team to help him do it.
Would he do that against Washington?
Of course,
Yeah, he's
of
got
course.
yeah.
And
Well,
then we got 17 games. You don't think he's going to? He got seven. We got 17 games. You don't believe that just because? Like, again, if he could be standing on the sideline, I don't care if he's not starting. You could wait to put him in the second half, and he's fresh, and then he can go in and he can do something. He's going. I mean, he's going like he. I don't even know what the word for it, but I know he's going. He's going to do damage again.
He might have the pedigree to take snaps from Derek Barnett. Don't be surprised with that. I understand that Barnett was paid $10 million on a 5th-year option, but it's going to depend on how healthy Derek is coming into the season and how he looks in camp. Because I mean, you never know. Because it's a very enticing idea to see a defensive front where Ryan Kerrigan, Fletcher Cox, and Brandon Graham are on the field together. So.
Right, and you don't think they're going to pressure bust pipes. They're going to apply pressure. That I mean, these are veterans. That's going to be more encouraging. I got Ryan
yeah.
Kerrigan next to me, Fletcher Cox and Ryan Kerrigan next to each other. Are you in heart grip? Like, come on, top notch. Like the defensive line is going. Oh my god,
that's going to push Derek too.
Yeah.
It's going to push Derek. We're like, this is the first round pick that we invested on that broke Reggie White's sack record, in Tennessee. I mean, we haven't seen that yet. Like this is another signing that's going to push him. Like, this may be your last chance, and you might have to look for a contract elsewhere. So, I know we brought in Ryan Kerrigan, but we got to see it on the field, Derek. It's your time. Come on, let's go.
Before I get in, before you say something, shout out to JC Eagle Talk. What's up with you? Go ahead, play. You had something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I feel like he's gonna be one of those guys. Like, you know how in 2018, Fletcher Cox looked very tired, because he was going in. He was in for most of the game. He wasn't fresh, and not at once. And I think it was the Saints game. He was drained out. And now that you add added depth to your defensive end group, this is gonna help everyone at the defensive line.
Definitely. You got anything, Mitch?
I'm just gonna throw this out there. People I want to go back to what you said about being washed up. It actually drives the hell out of me because these people are not watching the snaps that he does and the IQ he has. And he can put that with the younger guys and just like be a good mentor, and that's what we need for a time like this. And we got him for 1 year, 3.5 mil. In my opinion, that's a steal. That's a freaking steal. And who knows? Maybe he'll resign next year or if he retires. But just don't credit his age for his value, if that makes sense. Like, watch his game, ignore the age. That's basically all I got to say about that.
So,
All right,
do you guys think this is going to help the cornerbacks out? Do you guys think this is going to help the cornerbacks out more?
I feel it's going to in a sense because at the same time we don't exactly know the type of scheme that Jonathan Gannon is going to want to run, but we have to imagine that in contrast to the predictability of Jim Schwartz's defense of always the primary focus of relying on the defensive line to just go after the quarterback in this new age of the NFL. It's slowly veering away from that. Like you got to make these quarterbacks think at some point with disguises and stunts and what have you. And a guy like Ryan Kerrigan kind of brings that versatility, especially when I think Washington at one point used to run a 3-4 front instead of a 4-3 before Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio came in there. Kerrigan has played both outside linebacker positions. He was a defensive end as a rookie, and he's being listed as a defensive end now. So, and System of a Knot brought up the fact that he has said a washed Ryan Kerrigan is better than a healthy Derek Barnett, and you can very well make that case. But at the same time, I wonder in terms of like the for a longevity purpose as to how many snaps a guy like Kerrigan is going to be able to handle on the field. I don't think it would be obviously in the ballpark of Barnett, being that Derek is only 24 years old. You want to see him progress on the field a little bit more, but at the same time, it's when it comes to competition, man, he's definitely going to have to earn it.
And that's nothing. He's only 24 years old. He should have been down.
Yeah.
He should have really because it makes no sense to bring in Kerrigan and him to. I mean, he's not going to beat his. I don't believe he's going to really beat his job. But like I said, they're going to contain him as just to sit there, and when we need your help, just come on in, type of vibe.
You could very well take snaps from him.
Yeah, JC Eagle. For some reason, it's hard for me to put it in to the chat for some reason. But if you go all the way up to the top of the comments, it's not a lot of comments. As soon as you go up to the top, you can click it, so you can so I can bring you right in.
Oh, I think he wants my link. How do I drop that?
Yeah, System of a Knot was asking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just look me up on YouTube, and I'm right there. But
all right. Well, tell me
I
something
get
about.
what was that? I get the lot of videos, but I was just saying.
How y'all feel about Zach Ertz? Do you think that we're just gonna release him June 1st, or we're gonna keep him?
No. I don't.
What can we get
think
for him? Like, I'm just gonna keep on bringing that. What can we get for him? I said this in my video. I said I'll take him for a package of water bottles or a bag of chips. Like, what are we gonna get for him?
A 6 or a 7, maybe.
But from who and from where? And do we grab a cornerback again, or do we get a linebacker, or what do we? What else? Like, the only thing that we need for this team is a positive cornerback. I guess we all want an outside cornerback, but instead we keep getting a nickel and a slot. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. I just don't know what else. I'm not seeing nothing until training camp comes, and then it's like you have somebody from the 4th round. Then, like, I don't know. Like, it's mind-boggling because he don't want to be here, and I just think he don't want to be here because of Howie Roseman. Period. I don't think it's nothing against the team. I just think it's about Howie Roseman and his money situation. I mean, if anything, that's why that was my question. If you get released, and if a team gets you, I think the team got you by the neck by saying, "Okay, you've been released. So if you want to ask for this type of money, I don't believe you're getting it. You're either going to get the same what you was getting from the Eagles, and or we might give you maybe $1 or $2 million more. But you're not saying. I mean, I don't know because Zach Ertz hasn't talked, and because I hope you don't still believe after what he did in the Super Bowl. I mean, thank you, we appreciate it. You have a Super Bowl ring. I mean, what else is there? Back the next year, you was hurt. You didn't show much. It's all about what you did last year, and now you coming back saying you want more money. I mean, you if the thing is, we don't want to give you more money and you go out and you go hurt again. I mean, this is the business. If you was
Yeah,
nice
I don't.
last year, you probably get whatever you want, because at the end of the day, we still signing. We still like again, we didn't know we was getting Ryan Kerrigan. 3.5 is nothing to him. He probably just like, you know what, I want to play football. I want to stay here. I want to show you guys, Eagles fans, y'all used to be upset with me, but now hopefully y'all love me now that I'm on y'all squad. And when we go to Washington, don't worry about nothing. I'm gonna get the quarterback as many times as I can get him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like obviously we had Howie Roseman is doing something right far as money wise because obviously he can do all these signings. And
Money
there's
wise,
huh?
money wise, yes,
Oh
but
yeah, that's the thing. Everybody say money wise. He's very good at money wise, but as far as picking a player, no. So I'll give him that. Yes, you've been very well with the money, but obviously maybe he has money that he could give Zach Ertz, but he's probably saying I don't know because at the end of the day you might. I mean, he'll. My thing is, don't leave because Jalen Hurts will give you the ball. Like I don't. He's not going to keep the ball away from you. He's going to spread the ball around, and he got Devontae Smith. He's going to air it out. Like he got he. This is my point. Far as him coming into the offense, it's not like he got the ball. Let me just go ahead and run. And even if he did go ahead and run, he's still looking for players. And when he found players, he was still able to hit them faster than number two from the Colts. He now again he's 32 within that under Drew Luck because it was 4 games. He wasn't perfect in all of them. He won one. But he did fantastic in others. Again, he was in that Green Bay. He was in the Green Bay game. Carson Wentz, oh man, number two from the Colts. He was doing so bad that once he left out, who came in and got a touchdown? Hurts. So again, that PFF, I can care less about that. I mean,
thank
again,
you, thank you.
nobody like who cares? Like like if
Like
everybody knows football. We all know football. Why? Because we're all commentating about it. So again,
He played
Jalen
he
Hurts.
played 4 games and they think they can go off of that. Like the dude played 4 games. What do you want to see in 4 games? That's a small sample size. You didn't see absolutely nothing. That's just a start. The team around him was horrible and like Carson Wentz had the issues going on and him and Doug didn't talk for like 8 to 10 weeks and like everything was bad. So I can't even blame Jalen. I feel like if you give him time, he can learn something. I think he will be a backup for most of his career, but I think he'll be good for this year.
I just
It's
want
it's honestly nothing to elevate your blood pressure over because all this is really trying to do is drum up a narrative to get to get people talking or to get us Eagles fans riled up. And there's really no stock to put into this whatsoever because it's like there's more to it than there's more to it than how the quarterback looks statistically and as you pointed out, Big Play Slay, it was like it was all the other internal and external factors that attributed to everything that has happened as a whole. But when we talk about Zach Ertz, and I'll just get this out quick because it's to the point where it's to the point where the conversation with Zach is turning into that always wondering inevitability of the trade that number two wanted to go to the Colts. That's what it's starting to sound like for Zach. Only Only a lot of us have a better attitude towards Ertz than we did number two. But for Zach, it's going to come down to this. He's in a conflict right now where he has to figure out, is it is it solely about his happiness, or is it solely about that paycheck? Because if it's about the paycheck, then he's better off staying, because you're not going to go get at least $9 million from anybody else. I can guarantee you that he's not going to see that kind of contract. If it's about happiness, then that sort of thing shouldn't bother him at this point, considering on how he performed in 2020. And that, like, for how much that diminishes his value across the league, especially as a candidate for a transaction of a trade. Like, we're going to get, we're going to get next to nothing for him at this point in time, unless it's going to be a team that says, you know what, like the situation for number two, to where this team feels that they can revitalize him for a few years that he has left in his career, since Travis Kelce's still going at 31 years old as a Pro Bowler. Zach still may have that left in him, but it's going to come down to, like I said, is it about happiness or is it about money? And that's what he has to figure out in his own mind.
But
Hey,
I feel like he'll be traded, but like I think he'll be traded during training camp when like injuries and stuff start happening. He can be a replacement for a tight end needy team, that like a team that needs a player like of his caliber, and a guy on their team gets injured. He can be the replacement. You get some value for him, and it's a win-win for both sides. That's how I see
Yeah.
it playing out.
Yeah, it'll be tricky, no doubt, because we have to consider the idea of that. The organization is probably going to still want to do what's in the best interest for Zach, based on his previous contributions, especially for the Super Bowl. But at the same time, it's going to be tricky in regards of who we trade him to, because from a business standpoint, I don't feel that the Eagles are going to want to trade him to another team in the NFC conference, let alone our division for that matter, which nobody really needs Zach Ertz in our division, nor are we going to really trade him in the division. So there's a lot of there's just a lot of there's a lot of trickiness involved in dealing with Zach, and it's unfortunate.
Mhm.
I mean,
I just want
obviously
to.
nobody don't want him, because if that was the case, he would have went back to his agent, or I'm pretty sure they gave him permission to go around and talk to other teams. And if they're not
That's true.
budging, you might as well just relax and just play ball. Do what you got to
Yeah.
do. And if you don't, so you say, I believe he's 31, right?
Hmm.
Yes.
So if he's 31, how many more years do he got left in him to say, let me
I
just
would
play
say
out
1 or 2
nice?
years.
I would say 3.
1 or 2 years, I would say.
I'd say 3, and that's me being generous.
So
A
Yeah.
minimum of two.
yeah, now I'm gonna say two only because I'll say until he's 33 also,
Because
right?
he could very well go down the route of how we've seen Brent Selleck slowly deteriorate, and what his role was in the 2017 season. Zach is more than capable of following that road once it's all said and done. But yeah, as far as being a number one top impact tight end for a football team, he has a max of probably about 2 years.
Yeah.
So
So I just
let me
want to
ask you
say
this.
this.
So go ahead, Mitch.
All right. Do you think Zach Ertz could be traded for Jordan Hicks? Is that a possibility, you think? Because with Jordan Hicks, the Cardinals are open to go anywhere, but at least they're
I,
still
I,
on his
I
side.
yeah, I think that trade is off, because I think I saw a report that, well, I think it was the Cardinals. They were interested in them, and the Bills were interested in Zach Ertz, and
They were in the beginning, yeah.
to get him. Yeah, but when they saw how much he was getting paid, down the line they hesitated and backed out of that trade quickly.
Well, again, if the only way he can get money how he wants to get money, he got to be outstanding this year, and then
Hmm.
he can just roll to have somebody to be convinced to say, okay, we'll give you what you want. But until then, you might as well just go ahead, get what you're getting, and just be happy about it. I mean,
Mhm.
again, like you're playing for money, so I guess obviously he probably thinking we're not going to the Super Bowl because I mean, well, we're not going. We might not be going nowhere because everything is a fresh start. But I mean, again, you're still making enough money because you're holding out. Now you don't want to go to OTAs and this that. Like, come on, like just be a man about it. Go do your handle your work and just come back play. Do great this year, and then you can get something next year. I mean, I get it, 17 games, and again, you gotta look at Howie Roseman. But if you stand out, the longer you stay out, and if you stay out for the whole season, you're not getting paid. So now it's like, now what do you do? You're still losing.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
just it's not attractive to other teams, it's especially
Yeah, exactly.
from what they've seen, last year. They're looking at him as damaged goods. So if he if he wants to, if he wants to better himself from a contractual perspective, and then for the Eagles a business perspective, since obviously they can't get the value for him now that they're looking for it. He might as well swallow his pride and duke it out for at least one more year. But it's
That's not gonna
just
happen.
doesn't seem like it's going to happen,
It's not.
because that would be in the best interest for both parties if they just looked at this, if they just looked at this neutral instead of butting heads, if it's just solely about money.
Right, right.
Hmm.
I would love
Well,
to see that happen, and I would love to like see this whole thing reemerge. But like, he is going to go down as arguably the greatest tight end in Eagles history, and it, he has to look at the team perspective. You have Dallas Goddard, who is going to emerge as a top tight end in this league, and then this whole team is in a rebuild stage. He knows that if he sticks around for a couple more years, they're not going to give him a Super Bowl. What do they have to offer? Like a 8 and 9 season, maybe at the highest. A
I give
couple
him
wins
six.
here and there, shocking wins. Like I think he wants to go to a contender that he just has this gut feeling that he knows they're going to win it all,
That's the other thing you
or
have to
at least
consider
be a
at the
playoff.
same time. The
yeah,
other thing that
Yeah.
we have to consider, um, so it's not really, so it doesn't really leave our minds, and we have to leave this in the back of our minds. Dallas Goddard is in a contract year right now. He's playing. He's going to play for an extension. So if you got two guys in the same regard, they're gonna want to fight for the ball. So is that going to end up being the detriment to the football team, where they're going to have to make a business decision, based on the performance of these players? Like, it's just going to make it harder for them to determine, like, if Ertz miraculously ends up staying, is Goddard worth an extension if you insert Zach back into the offense where he's been the last few years?
Yeah, and I just want to address what System said about him crying, did not want to leave, and now he wants to leave. It's just like I hate people that go on their back on their word. Like something's had to happen since then. Like it's just like bothers me, and people are just like getting so emotional with Zach Ertz. Like, no, you're our guy. Stay here, stay here. But let's be honest here. Loyalty is not anywhere in the NFL or the NBA for that matter anymore.
well,
It's
you gotta
sad.
understand too. NFL stands for not for long, so I do understand that
Yeah.
Ertz, but I do understand that Ertz he wants his money, but at the same time, again, it's all about what you did last year, and you didn't really do much, so much last year. But I have another theory. We've been in here for we've been live for 54 minutes. I got 6 people in the chat and watching. Anthony Perry, shout out to you. Please hit the like, share, subscribe. As far as what Mitch Coffee, my boy
Toski,
place
Toski.
my fault.
You're good.
Place
You're good.
flag
You're
and
not the
Lenny
only
end
one. You're
zone.
not the only one.
Man, I don't my it's a tongue twister, but make sure
Yep.
y'all go after Lenny end zone too. But now here's my thing, right? Far as with Colts with number two from the Colts, right? His second year he was nice. He was able to get us to the Super Bowl. And I believe if he never got hurt, he would still got to the Super Bowl. Even with Nick Foles and all that. I got you. Now, this is Hurts. If Hurts don't do nothing this year, do you believe he can take us somewhere next year because of the growth?
Oh
Will
yeah,
it be the
no
same
doubt.
thing?
Facts.
Yeah,
Because
no
everybody's
doubt.
saying because
I
we
mean, this
got
would
three.
be.
Go ahead.
Oh my bad. I mean, this would be a disservice to Jalen Hurts in the first place. I mean, this would arguably be his quote unquote first year over his second year, and for as patient as they were with the new coaching staff, with Doug Peterson coming in 2016 and Frank Reich being the offensive coordinator, as patient as they were at times from the year one to year two transition. Now, remember at that point, there was, they were on the verge of letting Frank Reich go as an offensive coordinator, and
Mhm.
Doug Peterson had to vouch, to have him stay, and the rest is history. So, and this is a pretty this is a pretty identical situation. You got a new head coach in here with a new coaching staff. The defensive coordinator is new. The offensive coordinator is new. It's almost a picture perfect scenario. So to not give Jalen Hurts as equal of a chance as number two did. Aside the reasoning being the fact that number two for the Colts was the second pick in the draft, as opposed to Jalen Hurts being a second round pick at the time. That shouldn't necessarily matter. What matters is that you want to learn from your mistakes that you made in the past, so they don't repeat themselves again. And I would hope that Hertz would get as equal of a chance to evolve as a quarterback and develop into an NFL system as number two did when he first started off.
It's full. Hurt season is in full effect right now.
Exactly.
I
So,
need that hat. I really need that hat. The hurt season. I need it.
oh
Hit up LB.
Number
yeah.
two, my bad. Number one is Jalen Hurts. He's about to have a solid year this year.
How many touchdowns do you think he's gonna throw?
Man.
22
I'm just.
Listen,
touchdowns.
I
like I
was
If
said,
going for
it's
Devontae
20
if
plus.
it's
Smith is going to at least do
passing,
one
yeah.
touchdown.
If it's passing, I would say 22 touchdowns.
Low to high 20s sounds fair, because
Yeah.
I mean he's a he's a dual threat quarterback. He's more of that stereotypical dual threat quarterback where number two was able to use his legs the way that he did. It wasn't in the it wasn't in like the same caliber as Jalen Hurts would. 'Cause I mean Jalen Hurts in college was, around the same type of records that guys like Lamar Jackson and Johnny Manziel were holding. Number two couldn't touch stuff like that. So I mean,
Right.
but
When you guys say number
biggest
two,
thing,
I'm just like lost every time.
the
I
biggest thing
meant
that I
number
would
two, Carson Wentz.
No, I
My
don't
bad.
say his name.
I
I
didn't
say
mean to cut
I
you
say
off.
number two from the Colts because he's not an Eagle no more. Point blank. Period. So he got number two. So that's why I call him number two from the Colts. I
I
can't
just
say
get it.
his name because I just don't like. I don't honor what he has done, as far as to leave. But that's another
I
story.
gotcha. I gotcha.
But, I believe Devontae Smith, he's going to at least have one touchdown in the game, maybe two. But as of right
Chad
now,
Johnson has him for rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year.
I believe it. I believe he's going to have at least one touchdown a game. So he's going to have 17. I already got him down to 17 touchdowns because we got 17 games. Because obviously we're going to go for him either one way or another. Nobody's not going to like. That's how I see it. So
I mean,
Exactly.
let's be honest. Other than what is it called? Other than Lawrence and the other quarterbacks, look at every other offensive weapon situation. Jamar Chase, the situation that he went into, you got T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, those guys. How is he gonna
I
win
love
Rookie of the
Tyler
Year
Boyd.
when Joe Burrow is going to throw the ball around? He's gonna spread the ball around to everyone. You got Jalen Waddle, he's got Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki, and they still have a solid running game. And then
They
you
also
got
brought in
Kyle
Will Fuller.
Pitts, Julio Jones, exactly. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. Um, they got some studs over there. Russell Gage. And then you look at us. Who do we have? Travis Fulgham. That's it. Dallas Goddard. Come on.
Let's not
True,
undermine these guys.
but I
Let's not
just
do
know
it.
that everything's gonna come into fruition. Everything's gonna come together. But check this out, guys. We've been here for an hour right now, so I'm about to end this. But before I do, Lenny End Zone, please, everybody, give your own shout out as far as your channel and everything.
Time flies when you're having fun, I guess, Mucci. That's how it
Yeah.
always goes, man. That's how it always goes. But no, I mean, I definitely appreciate any kind of time that I can come on and hang out with everybody in the content creator community. It's been quite a it's been quite a rewarding and humble experience that I can do this alongside some of the best in the business and upcoming best people in the business. Us younger content creators, like younger, from I guess from a subscription standpoint, our numbers aren't quite there, but we still look up to y'all. So it's cool. It's definitely cool. But yeah, man. If y'all don't know me, and I think most of y'all know me already. No, most of you know me already. But yeah, I go by Lindy Endzone. Obviously, I do my beloved Philadelphia Eagles as content, and if you want a little bit of a different taste, as far as the NBA goes, I am a Dallas Mavericks fan, believe it or not. So
I
you can also
respect that
subscribe for
jersey. I
Mavericks content
respect
as
that
well.
jersey. I respect it. My favorite power forward of all time.
Go ahead, Mitch. Shout
All right.
your page out and everything.
Mitch Kofsky on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm doing live call-in tomorrow at 5 p.m. during MK Power Hour. So come in, hang out. We're just going to talk about Sixers. And Lindy, I just got to say this. When I was talking to my boy Tyler, my co-host for Sportsnet, he was
Yep.
like, dude, we got to get Lindy on here. He knows his shit. He brings good stuff to the table. He's like, we need to get him back. And I'm like, dude, you're right. And I was at Cheesecake Factory DMing you after he called me. I'm like, all right, fine, you're in.
Oh, jeez.
Go
There
ahead,
you
play.
go.
And
And Big Play Slay, I've been seeing a couple of your videos there, the schedules.
Yeah, thank you, Rich.
Yep.
Well, look,
Credit.
as far as me, yeah, of course, is Mucci Robinson. Make sure y'all check me out. Me and Pablo, Gary on Sunday, 7:30. Pablo, he's about to go on at 10 o'clock, so make sure y'all hit him up and check him out. I'm gonna be on there busting it up just for a minute, and then I'm gonna roll out. Appreciate everybody
Where
on
you
the
going?
chat.
Where you going to be? I'm sorry, I was.
No, I was saying we're gonna have our show. Me and Gary Pablo gonna have our show on 7:30 on Sunday, and Gary Pablo he's going on live and 10 o'clock within an hour. So I said I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna try to bust it up and see what's good. But shout out to
Thank
everybody
you
in the
for
chat.
having us, Mitch.
Of course.
Well, thank
Listen,
you
I'm
for
doing
having
this
us,
more and
Mooch.
more. I'm gonna be doing this on Wednesday.
Yeah,
All right.
Listen, I appreciate you coming on.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna holler
See,
at y'all.
me and Lindy are so close to that 00, and it's mad exciting.
I
But
was,
thank you
I was
for
about to
having
bring you up, but
us.
you beat me to it. We're in the same boat right now.
You guys will get there, believe me.
Oh, of course. Listen, I started this September. I started this when football started, and from then until now, I'm already up at maybe 800. So again,
Hey,
it's just
wow.
I just kept on going. Yeah, I
There you
mean,
go.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything that y'all doing. As far as going on certain people, saying what's up, and Twitter saying how y'all doing, blah blah blah. I mean, y'all doing everything right. Y'all doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. I'm still progressing. I'm nobody yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel that I'm nobody and all that. Like I get it. I appreciate the love and all that, but I'm still rocking with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
You got that bad
Mhm.
with Philly Foothills. I've seen you.
Oh yeah. Foothill. And actually, he was the one that shouted me out. Well, he's the one that touched with me to say what's up, and like I was still learning. He taught me some certain things, and Philly Notion told me more about the this stream yard, and you know what I'm saying. So again, this is my second live, and everything else I was just doing my videos. So until then, like I said, I'm still progressing. I'm nowhere yet. Like I'm reaching to 1,000 subscribers, but like again, I just can't wait until the season start. Once the season starts, it's gonna be over.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Ooh, once the season starts, mad content is going to be posted by everyone.
I know. It doesn't feel like 6 months has passed for me. It's crazy how fast time goes when you devote your time to when you devote it to something, and it becomes a hobby and you really like to do it. It's cool to think about.
Yeah, believe me, I've been doing
Yeah,
this
it,
off and
it
on for
feels
6 years.
I
it
mean,
feels so
it runs like
weird
that.
because yeah. Wait, you could go.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Didn't mean to. Yeah, I was gonna say it feels so weird because like last year we were in this like whole COVID situation and we were just like begging for sports to come back, and now as it did, mad content is being posted and more channels are growing day by day, and the Eagles community is just getting better as the day goes by.
Right.
I
Oh
think
yeah, and Joey Shakes too. It's the same thing with Joey Shakes.
yeah.
Like I remember seeing him. He was in his basement with the bathroom in back of him, holding up his camera, talking so long, and now he progressed to now he got a green screen in back of him, so he's doing his thing. So, and I've been following him for like 6 years, and I was thinking, like, how did y'all even get this job? Like, I'm thinking there was a job, and back because I was, the job that I was doing. I was just sitting there and I was able to look at the replays. Now this is when YouTube was starting to do the replays and everything, and that's how I found Lord Brunson and Joey Shakes, and I just seen them progress through from this, I guess the 2015 to six or 2016, one of those from then until now. So I you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So again,
I think it's just a huge attest to this group of people that we have in the community of content creators, like how these guys, like of course not when you say shout out Philly 500. You got 500, you got Joey Shakes, you got LB, you got all these guys who have been influences for us for years, it seems. How they set the standard, and how and how they show what the definition of dedication is when it comes to Eagles content, and talking about some of your favorite things in life, and how we can all connect to each other to talk about the same thing. And there's
All right.
experience.
uh,
He could,
gosh, yeah, you froze for a minute, but all right.
Yeah,
Until next time, I'm definitely holler at y'all, and I'm gonna get with y'all in these other chats.
there
All
you go, Moose.
right.
I'll talk to y'all.
Gotcha.
yep. See you. Appreciate you for having me